We learned about the halachas of if there is a problem eating together fish and milk or milchik. Today we're going to learn what's known to everybody, but we'll see a little bit in Yonim on this Indian of fish and meat, where it's coming from and what's allowed, what's not allowed to. Okay, so to say like this, and Kuf Tezayin Yeridaya, the tool brings Tzorich Lizor. He doesn't use the word osur. It says tzarich lizor. You have to be careful. Shlo le'echel bosor v'dag b'yachad. Not eat it together. Shekosher le'tzaras. Whatever, however we translate tzaras, leprosy or whatever, it's kosher as a health issue. V'yesh machmirin b'dovar liyachad ledogim kelim levadom. Some saying, the Torah said that the chumrah to have a separate dishes for fish, whether it means separate dishes to cook them, whether it means separate dishes to serve them. Why it's not enough kamina lamaisa? Because nobody paskins like the tour on this one. We don't have that chum. No poisek brings it. Lamaisa, well, maybe some people have some dishes to cook the fish, but lamaisa, like I said, the Taz says clearly that even kelim b'nei yoimon, even you just cooked with this dishes meat and it's clean, even the b'nei yoimon just was an hour ago, you're allowed to cook over there fish. So like I said, Lamaisa, I don't know, maybe there's some people noig chumran, but Lamaisa, as far as I know, the minhag olam, they don't have special dishes for fish. Like I said, the only one mentioned this is the tour. That is like this. V'adoini ovi arosh zalo yorogil lirchotz yodov ben bosor ladag. The Rosh of the Minhag to wash his hands after between fish and meat. Voyo plus, it's not just washing the hands. Voyo shoyre pas beyayin ve'ochla ben time the lirchatz piv. Then he would put his piece of bread in a wine and then eat it in order to wash off the mouth between fish and meat. So that's what he brings over here, the Torah. So La Halacha, the Shulchan Aruch brings like this. Same Lashon. Tzorich Lizor. Again, they don't say the word osur because it's not mishum isur, it's mishum sakanta. So you have to be careful. Shlo lechel bosor v'dag b'yachad u'nechkosher letzaras. Then the Ramo adds over there, v'chen en litzlos bosor im dag mishum reicha. What he means over here, cannot eat them together. Obviously, you cannot cook them together. But it means if you put them in the same tanur, in the same oven, even two separate dishes, you should not do it, says the Ramon, mishum reicha, because there is a whole discussion in the Gemara if reicha miltzei, if not, if the smells mixing, the smell between milchik and fleishik, the smell between fish and meat. So it says, it's a whole discussion. It says, it should be lechatchila choshet the reicha miltzei. You don't want to mix with the same oven. You're cooking the same time. The meat and fish. The smells of the meat and fish might mix up, and it's not good. It says miu b'di'eved and osur. It's from Bruce of Sefer Oruch. Lamaisa says, but b'di'eved, he says it's mutter. In case you put. I had such a shaila recently. If somebody was cooking at the same time in the oven, meat and fish, two different separate dishes, but it was at the same tanur. It says, but the evet, it's in the osur. But the evet, because Lamai said they didn't mix together, just the smell. Lechatchila should be careful, but the evet, it's mutar, he says. Okay. Then go back to the Mechaber, the Halacha Gimel. Yirchutz yodav ben bosar ladag. The Mechaber quotes exactly the tour, the way he mentioned from his father, the Rosh. You have to wash your hand between fish and meat. V'yoichel pas shorui ben taim g'delirchatz piv. And it's the same thing, you put the bread in some liquid and then you eat it. This way, the reason they say put it in liquid, because the what's called kinuach v'hadocha l'gabei, what the Gemara Chulin talks about, kinuach v'adocha, one is eating a piece of solid food like bread, and the other one drinking something. So over here, the Rosh did both of them together. By putting the bread in a wine or any liquid, then you're eating that bread, so you're doing both. You're eating something solid like bread as a cleansing, and at the same time, you have something liquid over there in the bread. So that's the way it is. Now, the Ramah says like this: V'yesh omrim, the en lochush lazeh, rak k'shemavashlam yachad v'acholon, aval locholon zachar zeh en lochush. Ramah adds to it, says all this whole restriction between fish and meat is only, says, either cook them together. That's the restrictions. Don't cook them together, or don't eat them together. But if you eat one and then the other, is no problem. Over here is not choylek on anybody. He just explains the mechaber. V'chen noyhagim. Oh, then he brings something he does disagree with the mechaber. V'chen noyhagim shlo lirchatz hapeh v'lo yadayim b'neyam. He says the minhag is you don't drink anything after the fish or after the meat. You don't have to wash your hands like the Rosh did. You should, he says, eat something in between and drink. It's like this. So what he mentioned before, not washing the hands, obviously it doesn't follow the minhag of the Rosh, washing the hands between fish and meat. It means like after ma'am achronim, you wash the mouth outside, the lips. Because then later on he says that you don't have to do, like ma'am achronim. However, he says you should eat something and drink. But it's not only that he's choylek and the mechaber, if you have to wash your hand, that if you pay attention, the cholek and another detail. That's the prisha he brings us out. He says, according to the mechaber, we have one chumrah washing the hands, but from another hand we have a kula over here because it's only fish and meat. It's not milk and meat. We don't have to do a full kinuach, eating something solid and drinking something. You could do it, combine them, put the bread in some liquid and eat it. That takes care of both of them. The Ramah is makel on washing the hands between fish and meat. But this machmir, don't combine the solid food with the liquid to be kinuach v'adocha. Eat separate something solid, bread, and then drink something. This way, so in one hand is mekel on washing, and another hand, the Ramah is machmir, they don't combine the solid food with the liquid, but separate them separately. This way, do kinuach v'adocha properly. Okay. Lamai says like this. We see that this whole inyanim of basar v'dogim, we mentioned this Gemara yesterday. It's the origin of this is Gemara Psachim, because anywhere else the Gemara talks in Chulin about cooking the fish, whether in a fleshik pot or in a fleshik oven, together with the fish, with different dishes. All this inyanim, it's all regarding later on if the fish become fleshik because they got in touch with the meat. The whole discussion of those Gemaras is if that fish become fleshik, you cannot eat it with the milk or cheese. But mitzad eating the meat with the fish, it's a Gemara in Psachim we brought yesterday that there was such an opinion. Everybody followed this Gemara. However, it looks like the Rambam did not follow this Gemara. I don't have the Gemara in front of me. Okay, so the Rambam doesn't follow, because when the Rambam bring this halacha regarding fish cooking it with the meat in Hilchas Machalos Asuras Perek Tes halacha Chov Gimel, Rambam says pas shafoy matzli, if you cook the bread with the meat in the same oven, v'dogim shetzlon im habosar, or fish that you bake them with the meat, also lachlan b'cholav. You cannot eat them with the milk. Again, his whole concern of the Rambam, what he takes from that Gemara, it's regarding basar b'cholav, not meat with fish. So it looks like the Rambam, that's what the poskim pointing out, says since the whole thing is according to the concern that one opinion in the Gemara, it's also mitzvah, that's not healthy. Fish and meat, mitzvah health, it's not isur, it does not enter anywhere, it's osur. It's a mitzvah sakanta chamura me'isura. Since the Rambam was a doctor, and he knew in his time it was not a problem, that's why he did not mention it. So that's how many people said any leniencies is really based on that Rambam. However, as we'll see, all the poskim, they do talk about sakanta chamira ve'isura, the restrictions. So really, we have to be careful with that. Now, legabe washing the hands, there's a Maisa was with Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Hommel, the Talmud of the Alter Rebbe. One time he had a suda one of his balabatim, and after the fish he told him, let's wash the hands. So the son of the balabas was a shtickle arrogant person, and he told him, and what happened if I don't wash? So Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Hommel told him, then you're going to become a meshumad if you don't wash. And it says Taka v'chen hava, this boy ending up at the end became a meshumad. He went away from Yiddishkeit. So what I want to say with this? You could say, well, what's going on? The Ramos says you don't have to do it all together. So I'll tell you, it's interesting, and that's what also explains why a lot of, even the Rambam holds like it's not such a big deal. The Aruch HaShulchan in Yeridei Kuf Tesvav, he brings over there kach. We're going to talk about this another time. There's the only place Aruch HaShulchan brings a story in his sefer of halacha. I'm not going to go to the story right now. When we're going to go to Basar, to Chol of Akum, we're going to talk about it. But over there in that halacha of Chol of Akum, he concludes like this: Ube'emes kach mekubelani shekol gezeres chachamim. When chachamim make a decree, levad tamam nigle. Besides, it says that we know on the surface why they did the gezeira. Yesh od harbe ta'omim kemusim shelo gilu oisam. There's a lot of hidden reasons they didn't reveal to us. They told us one thing on the surface. There's many beneath this. There's many more reasons. He says, but if you listen, he says to the Gzeras Chachamim, even though it doesn't make sense, that you look like Vir. If there's no, the doctor says, or the way it looks like, the Magen Avram also says, the whole union of Basar V'Dogim, it has to do with the environment, with the air, but where you are, we're not so concerned about this today. You're right. But if there is some pnimius union to this, not to mix the fish and meat, something spiritual could be involved. Ad kedei kach, that Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac says, if you don't wash, who knows what could happen to you. So we see from it, there must be something spiritual too over here. Again, we don't know where it's something spiritual, but it's not some chachamim that revealed us some. Over here, like I said, the Aruch HaShulchan says, it must be, he talks about Chol of Akum over there. Akoponim, there's an Indian taka after the fish and meat, we should wash the hands, machmir, according to the Rosh, and then according to the Rabbi, machmir, eat something and drink something, separate the two, not combine them like the Rosh did. This way you machmir according to all of them, and this way you keep the union of sakanta chamira mi'isura. Now there is a shaila. I'm going to finish with this. There's a shaila over here. If something of the fish fell to the meat, or vice versa, could you use the same union of bottle b'shishim or not? Some saying yes. If a help a basar b'cholov, if a milk fell to the meat, you could use bottle b'shishim 1/60. How much more? Such a thing. It's not osur. It's only union of sakana. So I'm saying no, because of sakana. So it looks like the Ramah.
Why would osur be less important, more important than sakana?
The Gemara says sakanta chamira miyisura. Sakana is more, because isur, if it's halachically bottle, it's bottle. Sakana, if sakana is there, and the Ramah brings a ra'ai that is kashya. Some say it's moil. You could make bottle b'shishim. He says that the Gemara says if a snake left a poison, even an arboim sa'ah. How much is the poison of the snake? Very little. Arboim sa'ah, it's a shiur of mikveh. It's not bottle. So we see, but sakana we don't use bittul. So he's ra'aya. That's a what?
A razor blade in your child is never going to be
bothered. Very good.
Sakana is really a bigger deal than...
Yes, sakana chamira miyisura. Yeah. However, the other poskim answer only by the nochash, by the snake is like this because of the poison over there. But everything else, the lamaisa, most poskim
so
that you could use bottle b'shishim by fish and meat too. You could use bottle b'shishim. That's the most poskim hold, because by the poison of the snake, yeah, it's more sakana over there. Over here, the whole thing is yes, sakana when it's cooked together, eating it together, but a little bit makes, and it's shishim kenegdoi. It's